When the shrill cry of a female leopard broke the silence of the Kenyan savannah at night, no one at the Masai Mara Wildlife Conservation Center knew it would be the beginning of an incredible story that transcends all boundaries. A newborn leopard cub, rejected by its mother just minutes after being born, found hope in the arms of a young man who never expected such a fate. In the arms of Alex Thompson, Max grew up with a green plaid shirt, a bottle of milk, and unconditional love, a rare bond between a man and one of Africa's most fearsome predators. Alex Thompson, a 32-year-old zoologist at the Masai Mara Wildlife Conservation Center in Kenya, has dedicated his career to preserving wild animals in their natural environment. He never planned to raise a spotted leopard in his small apartment in Nairobi, but fate decreed otherwise. On a rainy night in July 2023, a patrol team brought a seriously injured pregnant leopardess to the center. The animal had fought desperately to escape poachers' traps, suffering deep wounds to her paws and body. Her condition was critical, but the team was determined to save both the mother and her cub. For 48 hours, the center's veterinarians and staff worked non-stop, administering fluids, treating infections, and monitoring the pregnancy. Alex never left the center, dozing on a chair next to the leopardess's enclosure. 2 days later, she gave birth to a single male cub. But instead of joy, the team faced a new problem. The mother refused to care for the baby. Every time the staff tried to place the newborn baby near her, she growled, pushed him away, and showed aggression. The trauma and stress had destroyed her maternal instincts. Veterinarians tried various methods, including consulting an animal behavior expert, but all failed. After 2 days without food, the cub's health began to deteriorate rapidly. Alex couldn't stand by and watch the baby die. In a desperate move, he offered to take the leopard cub home. After much discussion, the center's director, Dr. Elizabeth King, agreed. "We tried everything," she said. "When Alex suggested we raise him at home, I was hesitant, but sometimes you have to trust in love and devotion." In his small apartment in Nairobi, Alex built a warm nest of soft towels in a heated box. He began feeding the leopard cub, whom he named Max, a special formula for wild animals every 2 hours. The first night was sleepless. Feedings at 10 p.m., midnight, 2 a.m., 4 a.m., and 6 a.m. Alex sat on the kitchen floor, holding the tiny leopard in his arms and gently feeding him from a bottle. When Max first opened his eyes and looked straight at him, Alex felt a special connection forming between them. That look was unforgettable, Alex later recalled. It was like he was saying, "Thank you for not giving up on me." I whispered a promise that I would always be there, whatever that meant. The first weeks were full of anxiety and fatigue. Alex carried a small alarm clock with him so as not to miss feeding time. Friends worried about his health, noticing the increasingly deep circles under his eyes. But each time Max made a soft sound, recognizing his savior, the fatigue retreated. Max developed more slowly than cubs raised by mothers, but under Alex's tireless care, he began to strengthen. His eyes sparkled, his golden fur with black spots became smooth, and he began to explore the apartment with childish curiosity. When Max was a month old, an unexpected incident occurred. Alex ran out of towels that he wrapped Max in for warmth, and he found an old green checkered shirt in the closet, a gift from his sister. Deciding to give it a try, he put it on Max. To his surprise, the leopard cub not only accepted the shirt, but also seemed to love it. He lay quietly while Alex carefully threaded his paws through the sleeves, making a satisfied noise when the shirt was on him. Max walked around the apartment as if showing off his new outfit. "I sent a photo to Dr. King," Alex laughed. She called right away, laughing non-stop. "Alex," she said, "you've created the world's first fashionable leopard." The shirt became a symbol of safety for Max. When he was anxious or tired, he would look for it and rub his nose against the fabric. At night, he would not fall asleep without his favorite shirt. As Max grew, the shirt had to be altered, but it remained an important part of his life. When Max was a month old, Alex brought him to the center for a checkup. The veterinarians were amazed at his development. Although he was smaller than his peers, Max was healthy and active, especially attached to Alex, responding to his voice even during examinations. "I've never seen such a bond between a person and a leopard," one of the veterinarians noted. "He considers you his family." Alex's life changed completely. His apartment turned into a mini zoo. He built artificial climbing trees, made toys from safe materials, and created resting areas for Max. Friends stopped visiting, dates were canceled, trips were postponed. But Alex didn't consider this a sacrifice. "Every day with Max is an adventure," he told colleagues. "I document everything, his eating habits, sleep cycles, reactions to stimuli. This is not just saving a life, it's a unique opportunity for research." When Max was 2 months old, Alex began bringing him to the center more often, hoping to gradually introduce him to other leopards. However, Max's mother did not recognize her cub and became aggressive. That happens sometimes in nature. Dr. King explained. If the bond between mother and cub is broken, it's hard to restore. But that doesn't mean Max can't live a full life. By 6 months, Max had begun to show leopard instincts. He learned to jump onto high surfaces with amazing grace, and he loved to stalk Alex from around corners, hiding behind the couch or under the bed, and then suddenly jumping out. He made characteristic leopard sounds, from soft growls to friendly snorts when Alex came home. Max developed his own language of communication, different sounds for hunger, boredom, the desire to play or sleep. Over time, he and Alex understood each other without words. Life was full of funny moments. Once, Max jumped into the bathtub while Alex was taking a shower, and stunned by the water, began to beat his paws on the surface as if playing. Another time, he discovered his reflection in the mirror and spent hours trying to catch the other leopard. The first time Max went out onto the balcony, he froze, amazed by the sight of cars, birds, and new smells. Frightened, he pressed himself against Alex's leg, but with his encouragement, he began to explore this new space. That moment when Max trusted me was special, Alex recalled. He was scared, but he was willing to explore as long as I was there. It's a big responsibility. By the age of 1, Max weighed almost 30 kilograms. His games required more strength, and the apartment was becoming cramped for the young leopard. But he remained surprisingly gentle around Alex, never using his claws or teeth during play. He even learned to hug Alex, placing his front paws on his shoulders and pressing his muzzle to his neck, a special gesture of their closeness. Alex knew that he couldn't keep Max in the apartment forever. The leopard needed space to run, climb, and express his natural instincts. But releasing him into the wild was impossible. Max was too used to people. Then Alex made a bold decision. He sold his motorcycle, used all his savings, and took out a loan to buy a 3-hectare plot of land near the center. It had a natural forest, large rocks, and a small stream, the perfect environment for a leopard. Over the course of 6 months, Alex and the center's volunteers built a transitional area for Max. The space included a wild zone with trees for climbing and rocks for resting, as well as a home zone with a roof, where there was a familiar sofa, a basket of toys, and a warm place reminiscent of an apartment. The zones were connected without fences, allowing Max to move freely between worlds. The first day in the new place was full of emotions. Max was confused and scared, constantly following Alex, not daring to explore the space. New smells, sounds, and space scared him. He kept running to the gate, as if he wanted to return to the familiar apartment. "Maybe we should stop," suggested a colleague, seeing Max hiding under a chair, refusing to eat. Maybe he's not ready. But Alex was patient. He spent days and nights in the home zone, putting Max in a green plaid shirt every night as usual. Gradually, the leopard's curiosity got the better of him. He started with cautious steps, climbed onto a low rock, sniffed unfamiliar plants. One day, while Alex was reading a book on the couch, he heard a rustling in the trees. Looking up, he saw Max on the highest branch, his body moving gracefully among the leaves, his eyes shining with new happiness. "That moment showed me that I had made the right choice," Alex recalled. Max found the leopard in himself. After 2 weeks, Max settled in. He created habits, sunbathing on a rock in the morning, observing the territory from a tall tree, and relaxing on the couch in the evenings. Alex began leaving him for short periods of time so that Max could learn to be independent. At first, Max protested, howling and refusing to eat, but gradually he got used to enjoying the solitude, exploring the territory. However, Alex's return was always a holiday. Max could smell him from afar, hear the sound of a car, and rush to the gate, making joyful sounds. But Alex was worried about Max's future. Leopards are solitary animals, but they need communication with their relatives, especially for procreation. After long discussions with the center's experts, it was decided to introduce Max to a female leopard named Nala. 2-year-old Nala was rescued from illegal captivity, where she lived among people, but later communicated with other leopards, understanding their language. The first meeting took place in a tense atmosphere. The team prepared sedatives and safety measures in case of conflict. But surprisingly, Max and Nala showed only cautious curiosity. Nala kept her distance, watching Max, and he kept looking back at Alex, seeking support. For a week they were kept in neighboring areas, separated by a net, so that they could see and smell each other. They began to communicate with soft sounds, friendly snorts, and quiet calls. Sometimes they lay next to the net, as if feeling each other's warmth. After 2 weeks, the net was removed. That morning, Alex stood holding his breath as the gate opened. Max and Nala hesitated, but Max, perhaps because of the confidence he had gained from living with Alex, took the first step forward. They stood a few feet apart, tails wagging slightly, ears perked. Then Nala let out a soft snort, and Max responded in kind. They began to circle each other, sniffing and studying each other. There was no hint of aggression, just natural curiosity. A week later, Alex came in the morning to a scene that made his heart skip a beat. Max and Nala were playing together, chasing each other, climbing the same tree, jumping off, and then playing again. Their movements were powerful, but not hostile. Happy snorts filled the morning air. Tears ran down Alex's cheeks, a mixture of joy and a little sadness. His Max, a little leopard cub who drank milk from a bottle and couldn't fall asleep without a green shirt, was becoming a real leopard. Max taught the world that love knows no bounds, that rejected creatures can find family in unexpected places, and that sometimes you don't have to choose between two worlds. You can create a new world where both coexist. Every night Max returned to his green plaid shirt, and Alex was there, knowing that their bond would last forever, even in this new big world they had built together. Friends, thank you for taking the time to read this story. If it touched your heart, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel to support us. See you in the next stories about wildlife.